Thank you so much for joining. My name is Josephine Kafura. I am the Business Development Manager for Servercore Kenya. And our conversation today is going to be a comparative analysis of cloud versus on-prem. If you have any questions during this time I'm presenting, feel free to just drop your questions on the chat, and my colleagues will be happy to answer you. We'll just give it a few more minutes for more people to keep joining. Then we can officially start. So you're welcome. Just give it one more minute, then we can officially start. All right. I think we can start now. As I mentioned, for those who have just joined, my name is Josephine Kafura. I am the Business Development Manager for Servercore Kenya. And our conversation today is going to be the analysis between cloud versus on-prem. All right. This is what you'll be expecting through this entire webinar. We're going to be going through the introduction, on-prem advantages and disadvantages. Then we discuss cloud, cloud computing, the advantages and disadvantages, and what you get with listing with Servercore. So for those who do not know Servercore, we are an international premium infrastructure provider with a local presence here in Nairobi. We do have our data centers located here in Nairobi as well. And our mission is to help companies deliver their services to users in countries with breakthrough technologies such as Kenya. So we are in 3 different countries, and we do have 4 data centers so far. So now in Africa, we are located here in Nairobi, Kenya, and we're also located in Central Asia as well. So since 2021, Servercore has been building and maintaining IT infrastructure for businesses, and our product team has over a decade of experience in the IT sector as well. For our data centers here in Kenya, we do have a tier 3 data center, and we are located at iColo, which is on Mosisi Road in Karen as well. And if you'd like to set up a meeting to come and see, or just have a site visit, you are free to do so. So what do we offer as a premium provider? We offer the technology partnership when you come as a client with us. We also offer free communication channels on all our social networks. We are also compliant with international standards. And being a very new company, we have the new and modern hardware with 99.98% SLA. Having a local presence have its advantages, mainly because we offer payment in Kenya shillings and you can top up through M-Pesa. So we have made it very simple for our clients to access our services, because you can just top up through M-Pesa and just within seconds, you have your control panel updated, and your money, you can now start using the services immediately as well. We also have the local availability zone and offices in Nairobi. So for some of the industries, they are they have to be compliant with some of the standards that they have to have their data sitting locally, and we have offered that for most of that has covered some of the things that the country has asked some of the industries, and we do have their data sitting locally. And having our offices here in Nairobi as well, we can always pop in and we can have a conversation face to face, and then, can also just make the decision making even faster. We also have personal data compliance. So this is, we are compliant with the Data Protection Act and all those regulations that the industry requires locally. We are also compliant with that. These are some of the solutions that Servercore offers. We have servers and computings. We do have the pre-built bare metal servers, as also known as the dedicated servers, which is going to be the main conversation we have today. Also, we offer cloud servers as well. Those are going to be our main conversations today as well. And our cloud platform, we have managed cloud databases. We have the managed Kubernetes and file storage. We have the network. The networks, we have load balancer and global router. And for security, we are GDPR compliant. We have the Data Protection Act of 2019, and then we are PCI DSS compliant. So we encourage that even you can just log in on myservercore.com, and then you can access our control panel. And our control panel, what you're going to be seeing basically is we have one of the best and the most friendly control panels where it's a self-service where you can access all the information or any services under our platform. And then you can just proceed and purchase because it's very user-friendly. And even if you need support, then we do offer the 24/7 support where we can just assist you, and you can have assistance from someone from our team to just help you through it to the point of purchase. And even after, we're still going to offer free and support services as well. From the same platform, we offer documentation where it's basically, we call it the knowledge base, where you can access any information about any of your products. There's also a search button there. If you just search if you just go there and also just search for anything that you're looking for, it's going to bring you all the documentation that you will need so that you can really understand the services in depth as well. We have a free DDoS protection provided for the infrastructure. This is to ensure that your data is protected and it's very secure as well. This is very just to protect your information, and you can feel safe that your data is well protected. As I mentioned, we have a free real human powered customer support. It's free whether from the point before purchase and even after purchase, we offer free support as well. So going into the conversation, we're going to start with the on-premise solution. So what exactly is on-premise solution? So on-premise computing is also known as in-house computing, and refers to the hosting of data, applications, and infrastructure on site within a business's own premises. So this basically, if I can explain it in a layman's language, is when you are having either like a physical server inside your office, or if you're leasing a data center as well. So these are options, right? Let's see what are the advantages of having this on-prem, basically a dedicated server or a bare metal as compared to cloud. So the advantage of having this is you have the control and customization. So basically you are in charge of this, and you can do anything you need to do without anyone's permission because it's already under your roof. So you have all the control, and you can customize it to your liking, however you'd like. For data security, this is basically as we are aware that there's more of hacking nowadays, and they are more prone to cloud solutions where cloud is more hacked. So having this one, the data security in a controlled location, when with managed access, then we have increased data security of your information. Performance and latency. So this is just reduces the time between when you have clicked and want your information, then you have reduced that latency, and the performance is even faster because you are literally sitting next to your server passive. quotes and quotes, you're literally sitting next to your server. So the time and the latency where you request for your data is very immediate. So the performance is high and there's reduced latency as well. Compliance requirements. This is very specific to some industries because especially in Kenya, there are some industries that are required to have their data sitting locally. Then this is also good because if you have it sitting locally, like if you have your own server or just leasing a server locally, then this means that you are compliant with those requirements. Cost predictability. This as much as during the initial part of getting the server might be very high, from there henceforth you are very sure that this is going to be the cost that will be coming month and month, and then you can be able to manage now your finances very well. So there's no like no surprises. So there's a bit of cost predictability with this on-premise solutions. Reduce dependency on internet. As long as okay, so for some solutions that on-prem, you have your you have your you have your server sitting there. So sometimes you don't really have to need the internet to access it. So you can still continue working whether you have the internet or not. So this is also one of the main advantages of having it locally. Some of the disadvantages of on-prem is high initial cost. If you're buying this for your company, and this might be there's a lot of cost involved, especially on the software, on the hardware, the initial cost, the implementation fee as well is quite high. And then from then on, you just be managing the finances, but the initial cost is quite high as compared to just setting it up. As compared to other services like cloud, then it's just, buy what you need at that particular time. So, so the initial cost might be a challenge to especially startups who do not have the financial muscle at that particular point to have such an investment. So that is especially the main disadvantages of on-prem. Scalability challenges, especially if you have bought, let's say you bought a server in 2010, and your business has grown, you will now need to either advance and buy another server to also manage your growth, or you can also choose to scale down. So that scalability, we do not really have the option of doing that scaling up or down, because now you have bought a server with the specific specs, and you have to work on that as well. You just have to deal with it however it comes. So that scalability challenges is one of the disadvantages of having a physical server. Maintenance and upkeep. So yeah, that example of maybe buying from a 2010 machine, maintenance and upkeep. So this means like when you need to things, especially in the IT industry, things keep evolving, and you need to just advance to the next technology that has come out. You need to there's this new, let's say, virus that has come up that needs this type of security. So this maintaining the server and the upkeep is going to be all on you as the company, as the IT team, to just make sure that it is managed well. And in case of anything, you are still the one to maintain every month, servicing anything, just to make sure that everything is well maintained. Yeah. To make sure that you have a prolonged life, that the shelf life is going to be the estimated time that it was when you bought it. The physical security concerns, this is mostly like fires, theft, floods, and these things you can't really tell that they're going to happen. Like you one day leave the office and the next thing you hear there was theft at night, and something happened to the server, and then the next day is just there's chaos in the office. So sometimes this would be the disadvantages of having the physical server, because if someone in the office chooses, this is the day I'm going to make my boss suffer, they can make it easily, especially if they have the access to the physical, the server room, because they can just walk away and just, make the company pay for it. And it's such a disadvantage is because it's giving them so much power and so much data that they can access, So having this over the cloud and the physical security concerns can be such a threat to a company. The limited accessibility is especially having those restrictions to some of the servers that you have the server in the office and you just have to come and work from the office to access some of the information. Especially during COVID, you could tell like some companies could really strained, especially because you have to work from home and cannot access some servers, some of the information, then you have to go to the office and it's already restricted. Then this is when some of the most companies shifted to cloud. So because there was limited accessibility to the information. Then there's longer deployment times. This means that by the time probably you have purchased, you have made a decision as a company, this is the route you're going with. By the time we have made the order, by the time it's being deployed, by the time we have had the hiccups, sometimes there's teething problems even after deployment. So that time can affect business. And like when you just on cloud, you're choosing to go to cloud, then it's immediate. You just accessing, it's just like a click of a button and you're up and running. So this is one of the things that make the on-prem disadvantaged. Sorry. Inefficiency, use of resource. So basically, you can say this is where we expect the company to grow, and we're going to buy a server that will last us more over 10 years. So we're going to buy a big server, correct? And then you realize that you are only using, let's say, 60 to 80% of the server, and then the rest of the 40 to 20% is just sitting idle there. And it's a service that you already paid for, a service that you used a lot of money to access. So you find that there's a lot of idle resource just chilling there, waiting. As much as you anticipate for growth, before you get there, there's a lot of inefficient use of the resource as well. So these are some of the main disadvantages of on-prem, but there are more, but these are the main ones, that are facing the industry as we speak. If you have any questions, I would advise that you just write them on the chat, and then my team is just going to answer you as we proceed. Yeah, we'd actually appreciate questions. We welcome it. We welcome them. So we'll just talk about cloud computing next. So what is cloud computing? So it refers to the delivery of computing services over the internet, offering on-demand access to resources such as servers, storage, databases, and softwares. It allows businesses to scale their operations, improve flexibility, and reduce infrastructure cost. All right. So some of the advantages of going with cloud is the cost effectiveness. As compared to what we've just discussed on-prem, this can be done from a startup to an enterprise, because you do not have to have a lot of money to start. And even you just also for the cost effectiveness, you can just whatever you have, then you use what you need. So and you pay for what you just use. It's like tokens. You buy what you will only use what you have bought. And also because it's more affordable as compared to on-prem, you don't have to have such an initial high cost when you're starting. So this is very preferred because it's very cost effective. Scalability, this means that as soon as you need more resources, it's very easy to scale up. If you, let's say like there maybe like example like KRA, when we are all like paying returning our tax during June, July. Then when we are all trying to access the KRA portal, everyone is accessing the portal, then sometimes you can feel like sometimes it fails to even access the portal because everyone is accessing it. So it's supposed to be the scalability goes higher. When it's Black Friday on Jumia, everyone's trying to access a different product because it's on sale, right? Then as Jumia, they need to be able to scale up, right? When it's not Black Friday, they don't need all that resources. They can always scale down when not everyone is accessing the site. So that scalability it's also accessible on cloud because it's elastic passive. It's elastic. Accessibility, this means you can work from anywhere as long as you have internet access. As I mentioned, during COVID, this is where we actually really felt this part of accessibility because most companies that had their on-prem servers at their offices, they had to still go to the office until they changed their module of work. Then now when they move to cloud, they now have better accessibility. So this is where cloud is good at because you can work from anywhere as long as you have internet. And with the way the world is going, this is it. So people can work from literally everywhere in the world as long as they just have good internet. Reliability and security. So this makes the advantage of this is that you can always improve on security. If you need to have different firewalls, there are many security companies that have come up that you can just ensure that your data is layered up with proper security. Yeah. Automatic updates. This is it. This is the provider now, like let's say us as Servercore, we are in charge of the updates, automatic updates of our system, our servers, and making sure that that is not a headache that you have to go through as a customer, as compared to having it on your physical, having it in your office. So you can have, as compared to, like, you can, like, as an example is you can have a server that you bought in 2012, right? And then the same person went to cloud in the same 2012. So for the one who is on cloud, they have literally the newest updates or like the newest versions of the service that they bought. But as compared to the one who's on-prem, they are still on the 2012 version because now there's no automatic updates. Until now, they buy a different machine now that they can now be updated to it. So the advantages of having it on cloud is that there are automatic updates that only the service provider has to have the headache to just make sure that it's automatically updated. Resource optimization. This is basically more like if there's something sitting idle, then you can scale down. If you need more resources, then you can always scale up, basically. Yeah. So some of the disadvantages of cloud computing is dependency on internet connectivity. So this might be an issue, especially in areas that do not have good internet. Maybe let's say in Kenya, there are some locations that have Safaricom fiber. And then let's say there are parts in the country also that do not have the fiber. So you can see that their way of working in that, let's say, particular location, let's say, like, let's choose a town like Molo. You have a branch in Molo. They cannot be the same as the branch in Nairobi because Molo has poor connectivity as compared to Nairobi, right? So the dependency of the internet connectivity might make the cloud quite disadvantageous as well. Limited customizations. Basically, this means that, whatever you bought is what you get. So, there's very limited customizations. Vendor lock-in, basically, this is such a disadvantage because there's a way of life that you're used to as a customer and you have decided to go with this particular vendor. Moving is a risk because you're not entirely sure if I move to the next service provider, what is life like on that side? Will I lose my information? What's the support like on the other side? So there's dependency on a particular provider. So this is a bit of a disadvantage because some clients are locked in because as much as they are being treated badly by their current service provider, they still have reservations of moving because they are used to a certain type of way of living as a company, Then there's data transfer costs. Sometimes there are costs that, let's say, like this particular month, there's something that happened and then there was a lot of, you scaled up quite higher than normal, then sometimes the data transfer cost might be an issue to some companies because they are not as predictable as having it on-prem. So that's the difference, Then security concerns. Having cloud is very prone to hackers. So this means that you need to really layer up on the security. You have to really invest on the security as well. So there are a lot of security concerns in this cloud computing. So we're going to be discussing next on how to choose between cloud computing and on-prem. But if you still have any questions, please feel free to write your questions on chat, and then my team will just be happy to answer. They're on standby. All right. Factors considers between the cloud computing and on-prem. So basically, these are what determines which solution you should go with. So we have the business requirements. What kind of business do you run? What are the requirements that your business is going through to make sure that, we cover the business requirements and see, does your business require cloud computing or on-prem solutions? Compliance with regulations, especially in Kenya, there are some industries, whether they want it or not, that they have to have on-prem or at least a server that is locally hosted so that their data can fit locally. Depending also on the budget, do you have the financial muscle to invest in this, or are you just starting off? What is the budget like, resources? What kind of resources? Is it the team you have? Can they manage your IT team? Do you want to also invest in the IT team? Do you also want to invest in the certifications that require for you to have an on-premise server? Or do you just want to have the headache gone to a provider to handle everything for you, all that? Security concerns, how sensitive is your data? What kind of budget do you have to also layer up on the security that you will need. So this is also some of the concerns. Management and support. If you go with a provider, will you get the support that you need? For the management, do you have a team that will manage this infrastructure for you? Because sometimes you will require that even on-prem, that there are specific conditions that you will need to make the server be in to make it so that it can work for you as well. So these are the main factors to consider when you're choosing either on-prem or cloud services. But we are here for you. We will also just make sure that we understand what your business is and how your business model runs. And then we will be able to advise you, because in either of the solutions we still offer both. So we also just want to ensure that by the end of the day, what's best for your company, Yeah. So we're going to just compare methods of building infrastructure, some of the parameters, and also what we offer as Servercore and what you will get when you list with us, So for server deployment speed, we had covered this on-prem. Sometimes you see that the deployment team, what kind of team do you have? What kind of staff you will need, so that what expertise will they have so that they can be able to manage this kind of work. But when you go with us, we will just set you up in minutes, because we have been doing this over time, and we understand we are very streamlined in our operations, and we'll just set you up in no time. Reserving components and hardware. So this is when you will, let's say that you're choosing to go on-prem and that you will need to order some of the equipments. So let's say you're ordering from out of the country. You order, then by the time it comes, the shipping will take some time. Assuming, let's say, something happens to the machine, that you'll need to also just also order maybe a spare part so that it can come in. It might even take a month or more for it to just come in. It also needs an expert to just come and also analyze and do the audit of exactly what the problem is, But for us, we do have ample reserves in our store, in our warehouse, and we do immediate replacement. Within a couple of hours, we make sure that you're up and running, so that your business will not be interfered with. The infrastructure access, if you choose to go on-prem, you will be independent organization of the physical and remote access for conducting work. But for us, we make sure that the data center access control system with proprietary remote and hand services. What happens when you choose to go on-prem is planning and budgeting of entry threshold. This means that there's high equipment costs. This I have covered in the disadvantages of having to go on-prem. This model is often inconvenient for startup because they do not have the financial muscle to do this, But if you still choose to go with us and lease at our data centers, the operational cost and lower entry thresholds due to the administrative aspects maintained by the provider, which is us. Yeah. For certifications, you will have to make sure that you are certified by yourself, that your team is certified. You have to be compliant to the industry requirements. But if you choose to lease with Servercore, then the provider is certified. Us as the provider, we are certified with the PCI DSS certifications, and we supply the necessary document for especially for these local regulators, especially in Kenya. Yeah. So for power and supply, so this basically means in case you have no electricity and then something happens and you do not have like a generator in your building, then it means that until then, when the lights come back is when you're going to be up and running again. But when you lease with us, then there's power redundancy where our data centers are sitting. We do have generators. We do have a pure electricity feed that makes sure that there's nothing that is going to make sure that the business goes down because of power. And we have a proper supply of power for all our racks and our servers. So we're establishing a microclimate. This means that you will, when you choose to have like a server in your premises, what happens is that you will have to have a very conducive environment. So some of these environments will mean that you have the architectural limitations such as wooden overlays, low flooring and ventilations. A side of effect is accelerated degradation of equipment due to high temperatures and decreased efficiency. So this actually makes the shelf life of your server to really go down, especially if it's given maybe 10 years and probably the conducive of the server room is not as conducive, then it might even reduce that to even 2 years. So that is money wasted. But for us, we are very good at this, and we have ensured that our structures are well placed. We have available space. We have controlled temperatures, airs, and we just make sure that our structures are well taken care of as well. So yeah, so this is in case you have any questions, feel free to just chat them down there. We also have a WhatsApp group you can join. You can just write your number on the chat and we can add you to our WhatsApp group as well, where we just update our customers on any new updates. If you have any questions, you can also just throw them on the chat, and then we'll have myself or any other member of the team to answer you. If you haven't by now, you can just log onto myservercore.com, and then you can just sign up and get an account ID. Then you can also be able to access the control panel. Then if you have any questions, there's also a help options there inside the control panel where you can just ask for support, and then someone will get in touch with you immediately. If you're struggling with the control panel to access any of our services, then someone will assist you. If you want to top up, there's also an option of topping up. If you choose to top up with M-Pesa, it's very easy to top up with M-Pesa. But if you also need assistance, you can always reach out and we will assist you. This is my number. My WhatsApp number is on the screen. This is it. It's 0718 540 745. My email address is kabura@servercorp.com. Feel free to reach out, send me a message, send me an email, whatever works for you. And yeah, thank you so much for showing up, sparing your time to just come listen to us. And we look forward to having more of these webinars and just educating you on some of our services. And yeah, thank you so much. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.